Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, July the 15th, 2020. It is currently 12:51 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas, where I think it's supposed to get to, 105 degrees today. Something crazy is happening outside with the weather, but I guess it's really not that crazy. It's Texas in the middle of the summer. So it's going to be hot outside, but I'm currently standing here in my study. The air conditioner is on, and I've got a very important question for you. I want you to really think about this, okay? What is the most important thing in your life? Let me state it a different way. What do you feel is your purpose in life? What is the purpose of living? What is your purpose in living? What do you think the most important thing is, and what is your purpose in living? Maybe those should really be stated as two separate questions, but they're very much related, because obviously what you think your purpose for living is, what your purpose in living is, then obviously that should be one of the most important things to you. And I will argue that a lot of people, whether they state it this way, I think this is accurate, that most people think this way, that they almost act or think, again, even if they don't state it, that deep down they feel that the most important thing in life, their purpose in living, their purpose for living, is to be happy, to experience happiness. And so they strive for happiness. They strive to get things that gives them a feeling of happiness. They do everything they can to remove things from their life that doesn't make them happy. They make decisions about their career based on what will make them happy. They decide to stay in a relationship or get out of a relationship based on the level of happiness that relationship gives them. They purchase things that make them happy. They will cancel certain services or cancel maybe going somewhere if they feel it's not going to make them happy. I think if we are really honest with ourselves, happiness really, for many people, is their purpose in life. It is the purpose for living. It is what is most important to them, is the pursuit of happiness, getting happiness, maintaining happiness, and avoiding anything that makes them unhappy. I think if we're really honest with ourselves. Now, there is a different way of looking at life that comes to us from a theological perspective, and that states that your purpose for life, your purpose in living, is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. So one view of life says happiness is the purpose. Happiness is the most important thing. And that's what you pursue, and that's what you strive to get. The other view of life says, wait, it's not about you. It's not about your happiness. It's about God's glory. One is very self-centered, and the other one is very God-centered. Two very different approaches to life. Very different, and really they're absolutely opposed to one another. Now, sometimes those within the theological world, the Christian world, will almost sell the idea of, hey, live to glorify God and it will make you happy. If you seek to glorify God, you will get happiness. So in a roundabout way, you simply pursue God to get happiness, which really in a roundabout way makes happiness still your main pursuit and still the thing that you are living for. I don't want you to hear that. It's subtle. Sometimes within Christianity, they're like, look, here's God. Yes, glorify Him, pursue Him, enjoy Him, but it will make you happy. If you truly want to be happy, then pursue God. So I'm pursuing God in order to get happiness. So does that not, in a roundabout way, make happiness the end goal? Does it in a roundabout way, does it still not make happiness the thing I am pursuing? Now, I know these are very philosophical questions, and I know I'm stating them in a lot of different ways, but I really want you thinking about this. I really want you trying to ask yourself, what are you really living for? What are you pursuing? Because this is very important. The thing that you believe is most important, the thing that you are living for, the thing that you believe is your purpose in living and your purpose for living, that is the thing that you will be willing to sacrifice for. The thing that's most important to you, the thing that you believe your purpose for living is, you will sacrifice in order to pursue that. You will sacrifice things in order to achieve that purpose. So it's very important for you, listen, and this is very true in the theological world and the Christian world. Christians will say, God is the most important thing. I'm living for God. But in reality, they won't sacrifice very much to actually pursue God. No, they will use God in order to get what they truly want, which is happiness, which is really self-gratification. That's really what they want. They just will use God. So the reality is, what will you sacrifice to get your purpose or to get the thing that you think is most important? Now, if you believe that happiness is the ultimate goal, what would you be willing to sacrifice in order to get happiness? Would you sacrifice privacy? The right to privacy. Would you sacrifice that? Would you sacrifice family in order to experience happiness? Would you sacrifice monogamy for happiness? Would you sacrifice history for happiness? What would you give up to have happiness, not only as an individual, but as a society? Let me read something that I saw this morning on my TV screen. All right, I took a screenshot. Welcome to New London. We have 3 rules. No privacy, no family, no monogamy. People are very happy. I want you to hear that again. You can't see it, but I took a screenshot from my television. Welcome to New London. We have 3 rules. No privacy, no family, no monogamy. People are very happy. So if it would give you true happiness, if it would give the world true happiness, would you be willing to throw out all privacy? Throw out all concepts of family? Throw out monogamy? What would you be willing to sacrifice for happiness? Now, again, we've got these 2 different perspectives. Like, one perspective is happiness is the most important thing. Happiness is my purpose in living. Happiness is my purpose for living. The other side says, no, your purpose in life is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. You have these 2 very different approaches. But let me ask you, what if it was absolutely proven that people, the world, would experience true, at least happiness from an earthly perspective, if we gave up privacy, if we gave up family, if we gave up monogamy, if we gave up history, dare I say, we gave up religion? What if it could be proven that would truly give happiness? Would that be grounds to say, okay, let's do it? Well, if happiness is the most important thing, then you don't care about anything else. You would even sacrifice truth. If happiness is your goal, and if happiness is all that matters, then you would sacrifice even truth to get it. Now, what if, bring in the Christian perspective, the Christian perspective says, no, your purpose in life is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. And to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever, you have to be willing to submit to His rules. You have to be willing to follow His understanding of right and wrong. And if He says no, family is important, if God says monogamy is the way to conduct yourself, if God says these things are important, listen, if God says these things are important, and if everything proves that those things may not produce happiness, they may actually produce unhappiness. Well, listen, would you still pursue God if you knew that, hey, it's not going to produce happiness? And I think we could argue that Christianity has been around for 2,000 years. And that there are many people who try to follow God, and maybe that all these things, family, monogamy, all of these things, maybe it hasn't produced happiness in them. Does that mean that it's wrong? I guess, let me state it this way. Just because something doesn't make you happy, should you abandon it? And should you reject something just because it's going to make you unhappy? Well, it comes back to your view of life. If happiness is the end goal, and that's all you care about, then you're going to reject anything that's going to make you unhappy. You're going to reject, if the idea of God's going to make you unhappy, then you reject it. If monogamy is going to make you unhappy, you reject it. If the idea of a family is going to make you unhappy, you reject it. Because all you care about is happiness. So there is no truth. The only truth is happiness. That's the ultimate truth. That's the ultimate standard. But in the theological perspective, all that matters is glorifying God. Your happiness is irrelevant. It's secondary. Glorify God. What does God tell me to do? I'm going to strive to obey God. Not with the idea, oh, this is going to make me happy. This is going to give me a sense of contentment. But because it's God, God is creator. He sets the rules. So I pursue God. These are drastic, different approaches to life. Now, why am I asking all of these philosophical questions? And I'm thinking about all of this. Well, because this morning I woke up and I immediately realized, oh, today is the day that NBC Universal is going to release their new streaming channel, their new streaming app called Peacock TV. Peacock TV. And I'm like, well, I want to check this out. So I went, downloaded the Peacock TV app on my Apple television. I immediately started looking around. I went ahead and did the 7-day free trial. And one of the shows on Peacock TV that's really getting all of the attention and all of the buzz right now, because it's a Peacock TV original. And this is, I can't say that this is the show that they're really like, hey, because on Peacock TV, they have obviously a massive library of older shows and classic shows. But obviously original content is what, you can have a library of classic shows, but at some point people are going to get tired of watching things they probably already have seen. So you need new shows to really keep people paying that monthly subscription fee to your streaming service. Well, Peacock TV, one of the big new originals that they're promoting is a show called Brave New World. Does that sound familiar? Brave New World. Yeah, the 1932 novel called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Remember? Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, 1932. I think you probably read it in school. And if you haven't read it, you should read it. So here it is. Brave New World is a TV series that is currently available on Peacock, the Peacock TV streaming service. Here's a little summary. Brave New World is an American science fiction dystopian drama series that premiered on NBC Universal streaming service Peacock on July the 15th, 2020. That's today, all right? And it's an adaptation of the 1932 novel of the same name by British author Aldous Huxley. Here's the premise. The series imagines a utopian society that has achieved peace and stability through the prohibition of monogamy, privacy, money, family, and history itself. So here's the idea. The series imagines a utopian society that has achieved peace and stability through the prohibition of monogamy, privacy, money, family, and history itself. Now, there are 9 episodes in season 1, and I can tell you now that the content, I didn't even make it more than, I made it to the opening scene. The opening scene is a black screen that has these words, "Welcome to New London. We have 3 rules, no privacy, no family, no monogamy. People are very happy." As soon as I saw that, I stopped and was like, whoa, okay. Let me think about this. And I didn't even continue. I didn't watch any more than that. But the rating for the show, just so that you know, is TV mature. It has language. It has sex. It has violence. It probably has all kinds of content that you may not want to watch. So I don't know if I'm even going to watch any more of it. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, wow. And at the time, I didn't realize that it was an adaptation of Aldous Huxley's 1932 novel. I didn't even draw the correlation. I saw Brave New World. Okay, let me watch it. So, but as soon as I saw that screen, welcome to New York, we have 3 rules: no privacy, no family, no monogamy. That's when these ideas started coming to my mind, that we really have 2 worldviews, 2 perspectives. Perspective 1, happiness is all that matters, and I'll sacrifice anything to get it. Family, gone. Monogamy, gone. Privacy, gone. History, gone. Money, gone. Religion, gone. I don't care. Just give me happiness. And on one hand, I can stand here going, well, that is a very earthly, materialistic worldview that denies God. I can sit there sounding all, sanctimonious and holier than thou, but let's be honest, something deep inside of us, we do think that way. We make decisions based off what will bring us happiness, what will please us. We pursue pleasure. We pursue satisfaction. We pursue happiness. We pursue contentment. Watch how many things you do in a day, how many decisions you make based off this desire to be pleased. Now, we could argue, getting rid of those things, would it truly produce happiness? Okay, would it not? Okay, we could argue that all day. The issue is, I'm thinking of it from a philosophical perspective, is what if it did? Well, if happiness was all that there was, and that's all that matters, then, hey, if it gives me happiness, then go for it. And if I need to change my view, I'll change my view, because all that matters is happiness. Truth doesn't matter. Nothing else matters than happiness. But because there's this other worldview that obviously I believe, which is we are created by God. We're created by God. We are created for God. And our purpose is to glorify Him. That is our purpose. That no matter what we do, eating, drinking, we are to glorify God. We are to live for Him. Now, I can say that dogmatically. I can proclaim it. But I have to ask myself, do I really live that way? Or have I changed this idea of living to glorify God into a system where if I live to glorify God, then I claim I get true happiness. I get true happiness. So then am I truly pursuing God, or am I truly pursuing happiness? Or do we just try to convince ourselves that we truly get happiness and that the world's happiness isn't real, that what they claim as happiness isn't real happiness? We have the real happiness. But then you look at Christianity. How many marriages disintegrate and fall apart? How many Christians seem unhappy, depressed, bitter? Right? They don't seem any more. Do they have a greater sense of happiness? Now, I know what some Christians will say. Well, if they were truly a Christian, they would. You're telling me? No, I think that's the wrong argument. The argument is Christianity is not designed for quote unquote happiness. It is designed for the creature, us, we are created by God. We are the creature to worship and serve the Creator, because that is our purpose, and our purpose is to glorify Him, and it's not about us. Now, there is a promise of blessing attached to it, but that blessing, I think, is something deeper than our earthly understanding of happiness. Some could call it a spiritual joy. There should be a spiritual joy there, but that spiritual joy can only be achieved when we are not pursuing self, when we are pursuing God. In fact, the whole Christian message is the person who finds his life and keeps it is going to lose it, but the person who loses his life will find it. It's the idea that as a Christian, coming to Christ, coming to Christianity, means we lay down our life. We die to self, because now self is not involved. We are pursuing God. And by pursuing Him, then the pursuit of self-gratification and self-happiness is no longer the goal and no longer the purpose in my living, but it is to glorify God. Very different perspectives in life. Now, I don't know how the show is going to handle the content from the 1932 book. I don't know if it's going to go in its own direction. I don't know. I think clearly from the trailer, it seems to give the idea that at least one person Now, within that society, he's going, wait a minute, I think this is all a sham. I think this is all fake. And he's going to disrupt the system. Now, is he going to disrupt the system because he realizes this is not really the path to true happiness, or there's something different and more important to live for, even if it leads to unhappiness? Let me play the trailer for you. Just listen to this concept of happy. I think it gets mentioned twice in this 2-minute trailer where there's not a lot of talking. It's more just music, but I want you to at least hear it. This is the trailer for the TV show Brave New World, which is currently streaming right now on Peacock TV, the new streaming service from NBC Universal. It's available probably on all smart televisions. I know on Apple Television, I'm assuming on Roku. You can download it. You can get a 7-day free trial. Again, the show would have content that many of you may not want to watch. I'm just telling you about it because it brings up these very important philosophical questions. But here's the trailer. Listen carefully.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers.
This is New London.
For a couple of hours.
Everyone's happy here. Everyone has a place. There's no hunger, no violence.
Daydream,
There's no pain there, John. Everyone fits. I've always wanted that for you.
This is your home now. You just need to embrace this place and let it be wonderful. Hey.
All you have to do is connect. Everyone belongs to everyone else. We're never alone here. Everyone's connected.
You know, I've been watching you people, but this place is so perfect. Why is it upside down?
There was a disruption.
I just can't seem to get back to myself.
A virus enters a cell, turning the body against itself. We need to stop this before this goes too far. We're at the beginning of something. Something necessary. If you're not happy, you're nothing at all.
Did you hear that? If you're not happy, you're nothing at all. If you're happy, you're nothing at all. Clearly demonstrating the purpose in life. The most important thing in life is happiness. And if you don't have that, you're nothing at all. And some people never state that way, but that's how they feel. If they're not happy for a day, if they're not happy for a month, then all of life is messed up, and they have to fix that. They have to get back to happy. They will go to counseling because they want happiness. They'll take drugs, prescribe drugs, anything, antidepressants, anything, because they want to feel happy. They will get rid of a relationship. They will do anything to get happiness. Even those who say, no, God is the most important thing. Happiness becomes this dominant force that we pursue at all cost, and we're willing to sacrifice so much to get it. I'm saying that is a radical different approach to life than what the biblical model claims to be, which is happiness is not the goal. God is the goal. We pursue God. We live for God. We sacrifice our things to live for God, to glorify God, to enjoy God. It's about God. It's not about us. It's not about our feelings of happiness. It's radical and different approaches to life. But again, I think there's a subtle way that Christians take this idea and say, well, God will give you happiness. So what you're really doing is pursuing happiness, and you're using God to get it. And I think a lot of Christians do just that. Brave New World. Hey, you can have this brave new world if you'll just give up the following. Give up family. Give up the concept of monogamy. Give up history. Give up money. Now, they don't say religion there, but let's say give up religion. Now, I want to make this very clear. even if it gives happiness, if it gives lifelong happiness, like on this earth, lifelong human happiness. I know Christians will always talk about no, spiritual joy is different than human happiness, but let's say it gives true earthly peace and happiness. It looks like a utopian future that we all long for. And it guarantees it gives that. It would still be giving you that with a worldview that is contrary to the biblical worldview that may not produce happiness, may not produce all of these wonderful effects. What is more important, the happiness and the utopian future or glorifying God? Sometimes I think if we're honest with ourselves, we would say happiness. Even as Christians, I think sometimes we would say that. Brave New World, currently streaming on the new streaming service Peacock TV, brought to you by NBC Universal. It's rated TV mature, has a lot of adult themes and content, but it does raise this very important philosophical question, this reality that there's two very different philosophical approaches to life. And we can say philosophical, there's kind of a philosophical one, happiness, and the other one's supposed to be theological, which is focused on God. So we have two different ideologies, two different worldviews, and the two are opposite to one another. And we need to see that at its fundamental level. All right, I'll stop right there. I just wanted to at least throw this out there, get you thinking. That's what I love to do. Kind of hand you a little some philosophical concepts, theological concepts, let you bounce them around, chew on them, and then, of course, engage me in conversation. Feel free to email me, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Well, you can tell me how you struggle with these concepts. There's more I could say. There's more, but I'll stop right there. All right. Everyone have a great day. Think about these things and let me know. Well, let me know what you were thinking about. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Everyone have a great day. God bless.